Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Global Shapers Community Maseru Hub. My name is Tukison Teve. So I'll be facilitating this session where it's basically a meet and greet of who these global shapers are, and what they do. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, and then I expect, participation. I expect you guys will tell us what global shapers are and why you are a global shaper. So I'll start with the lady looking at me right now. What is your name and what does being a global shaper mean to you?
Hi guys, my name is Pakwana, and I've been a global shaper now for 2 years. And I think for me, being a global shaper is simply just the opportunity to inspire and be inspired, to make contribution and impact in the communities that we stay in. So yeah, that's what for me, being a global shaper essentially is.
All right, I like that, Mpo. So a lot of people always ask, how does one become a global shaper? So I'll ask this question to Maneo. What is being a global shaper about and how does one become a global shaper?
Okay, so I'll start with the second question. The requirements for being a global shaper, you have to be between the ages of 20 and 29, and you have to be doing something in your community that is bringing impact, social impact in your community. So that's the main criteria for being a global shaper. You have to be wanting to do something and already doing something in your community. And the second question is.
That wasn't a question. So I think essentially you've answered the question. So
Okay.
how does one become a global shaper?
Yes.
Do global shapers get paid?
Okay, so the other thing that's important is that global shapers is volunteering work. No one is getting paid to be a global shaper. You have to, on your own, want to be doing something in your community. The reward, for me at least, it's learning from these amazing people, learning from people with different skills in this community and the network in the whole global Shapers community. So that is the in-kind reward. But money, no.
I like that. So I like the fact that you mentioned that there are benefits and advantages. So I want to cross over to the other side of the room and ask one of the current global shapers what the biggest highlights for being a global shaper has been for them and what they've taken away in the last year or two as global shapers. So Saskia, over to you.
Okay, so highlights and what I've taken away. I think one of my highlights has been definitely the Shape events. Going to one of the Shape events is just amazing. Like we've discussed earlier, there are Shape events once a year on each continent. And as a Shaper, you're able to join and people from all over the world come there and share their experiences, share their inspiration. And it continuously creates more motivation to actually come back to my hub and be like, okay, other people are doing this. This is amazing. How can we learn from it? And one of the things I think had a big impact on me is the fact that what they continuously try to say during those events as well is we are privileged. We all have a big privilege and we need to be actually able to use it. Being privileged is not a problem per se, but just sitting there with your privilege and not actually trying to bring it back to the communities is what is the problem. So this is what Global Shapers offers, and I think that is amazing.
Interesting. So amongst us, we also have very new people who are excited to be joining this amazing community. So let me cross over to this side of the room and ask you, what are you most excited about being a global shaper? Tell us who you are and why you've joined the Global Shapers. Yes, I'm looking at you. So tell us, what are you most looking forward to and why did you apply to be a global shaper?
My name is Mautlokama Kosholo. And I think the reason I joined, the biggest reason why I joined Global Shapers is actually to connect and to have meaningful conversations with like-minded people. When I mean like-minded people, I don't mean people in the same industry. Like I've seen today, we're a very diverse group, which I'm happy about. I'll be learning a lot. So I'm very, very excited about the impact that we'll be doing as a team in our communities, and the meaningful relationships we are actually going to have between each other. So the courses that I care about, coaching and mentoring. I believe that as we go out of our different courses or universities or wherever we've been in the world, and we need to go into the world of the working world, we struggle with a lot of things. I've personally struggled with a lot of things, and I believe that I'm in a position now where I could share with other people that are yet to experience the things, or people that are experiencing those things and they don't know what or how to go about them. So I'm really, really excited.
I like the fact that you mentioned coaching and mentoring. So as the outgoing curator is almost like a president that has just left office and making room for the new and fresh. What has, Pabalo, looking at you, what has been your highlights as the curator for the last year, and what are some of the lessons you'd like to share with the incoming curatorship, and what tell us about your journey as the outgoing curator?
So I guess for me, I applied to be a curator for a specific intention, and it was specifically for growth. I wanted to be corrected, as well as tap into my strengths and do things that I didn't know I had the strength to do. So I think one of the key highlights for me was self-awareness. I think that's one of the most important things, because if you don't know yourself, it's like knowing yourself is a foundation of everything. So I think it kind of revealed what my strengths are, and as well as my weaknesses. So going forward now, I know which areas to work on. Other than that, I think the common thread has always been building meaningful relationships. I was fortunate enough to go to Geneva and join other curators at the curators meeting, and that was amazing. It literally just breaks you down. And I think one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier on was the fact that these are really well accomplished people, but the most humble individuals. So we literally had to remove the masks. There were no elevator pitches there. You just come as you are. And I think when you come as you are and you're completely vulnerable, people see a room to help you grow as well. So I think one of the key highlights for me was being able to build those meaningful relationships that helped me grow both as a person and as a leader or as an entrepreneur. And I think tapping into those resources, I think the most important resource you can have is relationships. And that's what I have. And like I said, these are really well accomplished people, and to have them on your speed dial, it's amazing. And I think just peer-to-peer learning, what I gained from this amazing people from this hub. A lot of times we like to talk about people that come from outside Maseru Hub, but I think Maseru Hub is composed of extremely intelligent individuals, and to have been able to lead such people has been a great honor for me. And you can't be as anyone here. Like, people will call you out, and that's what you need to grow. People need to call you out on your shortcomings so that you know which areas to work on. So that has been the journey for me in a nutshell.
I like the fact that you mentioned diversity and inclusion. So normally when we talk about leadership, we specifically focus on Maseru, and we think that Maseru is Lesotho. So we are fortunate enough to have somebody who is actually outside of Maseru. And we want to know, what are you looking forward to, especially coming out of Maseru? And what role do you think you can play in building the bridge between Lesotho is not Maseru? There's actually 9 other districts in the country. What's your take?
Thank you. My name is TimfreezeStudios. The biggest thing I was worried about, or the biggest thing that has always been on my mind is decentralization of, resources and people having access to like the right information, the right motivation, the right people. So being outside of Maseru, my biggest aim, besides other things, of course, I just wanted this thing should be there in Liribe because Liribe, there's so many groups of people who are doing incredible things to change the community. But the problem is there's nobody that helps guide through things. You find that there's different small organizations or different individuals doing their own thing. And then you find that what they do is almost even the same, but there's no clue that brings them together, because I believe if then they come together through a certain body, then they can do greater things, they can do better things, they can explore other avenues that we're not even tapped into. So being a person outside of this place, I'm hoping that just like an extension cord, will be able, to take everything that I learn here with these people here, take it there so that we grow, make it bigger, so that Lesotho, every district of Lesotho has something great going on made by the youth.
Fantastic. They always say your network determines your net worth. And with that said, we have a resident expert when it comes to network. And I love the fact that he always says, don't take, but always give. So, my good guy, what has been your highlight as a global shaper in the last year? And touch a bit more on why this network or this community is beneficial and how it has shaped your life. So basically, how has this chapter of your life or this journey helped you build networks that are hopefully converting into currency?
Hi, I'm Mahao Muchibelele. I joined the Maseru Hub in 2017. And I think being a global shaper has helped me. I always keep saying to the guys that I used to be very hard, and they probably do know this as well. So in as much as I'm always, pro networking and stuff like that, I wasn't really collaborative until I met the group. So it has made me a bit more purposeful and a bit more conscious about how I make other people feel. And I think in that regard, even for me personally, the relationships that I have in business are I don't want to say personal, but semi-personal and business. Like I said, it makes collaborating with people a lot more impactful also, and you get to learn a lot more because you don't come in as the guy with all the answers. You're someone who says, here's an issue or this is something we need to work on, and then something bigger comes out of it, something even bigger than what you thought it would be. So that's what the community has taught me, and it's been really special.
Thank you. Collaboration. So coming in today, ladies and gentlemen, I was told that I had one job and one job only. And I'm just like, okay. All right. So looking at you, Mr. Sir with the cap, I mean, you come in as a new guy and you're really giving out comments like you have one job and one job only. What do you think you, as a new shaper coming on board, what do you think you are going to contribute to making this community exciting, and what do you think will be your highlight going forward? What's your what are you contributing to the team?
Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm a new shaper. I'm very interested. I'm not too sure where to look. That camera. So what do I bring here? I think what I bring here is an element of something different. One, I'm looking around and I'm the only guy wearing shorts. I'm the only, there's a couple of people wearing hats as well. But I think what I bring, I've got two things that I think I'm particularly passionate about, and I think that will probably be adding to the amount of things that we're doing here. There's one issue of career development that we have an issue of in the country. We've got so many people who are depressed in their jobs because they happened to be in their jobs. So I think that's one of the issues that we look to try and address through this media. How we look to do that, I think, is calling people out, like I called our incoming new and fresh curator to do that one job well. So trying to get the network or this group and this circle and this community to really focus on the things that we set out to do. I think that's one of the things that I might add here. That's my giving. And my taking, I think iron sharpens iron. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a very difficult year for me. But I like the fact that he speaks about, monitoring. And more often than not is we don't call each other out and we don't hold each other accountable to certain things. And for me, I believe that the biggest measure of success is if you're able to monitor and evaluate your progress, your impact. So we are also very privileged as one of the new shapers coming on board who is a subject matter expert when it comes to monitoring and evaluation. So I'm going to cross over to the other side of the room and then let's hear what she is going to contribute in terms of monitoring and holding us accountable. Mademoiselle.
Thank you so much. All right. My name is Kananelo Mahali. Like he said, I work as a monitoring and evaluations officer. So with regard to monitoring and evaluation, with many projects or many initiatives, it's very hard to monitor the tracks and process of the project, given that implementation sometimes takes time, sometimes is fast-tracked. But however, it becomes a challenge actually making progress or process of what is being implemented and getting feedback from what has been done. So from the monitoring and evaluation side, I think it would be a privilege with what I know, what I've learned, and what I've gained through my jobs, my interaction with other people in the monitoring and evaluation field, to bring the tracking and the process and the evaluation aspect into the global Shapers community. Given that I've noticed a lot of their projects through social media, but it would be of interest to actually know if the project and the initiatives are tracked, are monitored, and feedback is given to the group as expected.
Yet another affirmation or confirmation that leadership is not easy. And if we go about pretending like we know what we're doing and we're not keeping track, it becomes extremely difficult. But I also want to touch on the fact that one of our new shapers has applied before. And the first time she didn't make it, for reasons that she will tell us, but I would like to know why she reapplied again and what she did differently this time around. Yes, she's already smiling. So let's hear how it's been like for you to apply, not make it, and reapply, and tell us why you didn't make it the first time.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that question. So anyways, my name is Gatla Mashiane, and one of the members in the previous year was Disama Mashiane, who happened to be my brother. So unfortunately, I applied and I was informed that nepotism has no place here. And I had to wait for him to actually step out in order for me to step in. So yes, it wasn't very nice, but I think it affirmed the reason why I had to actually apply again, because it shows that Global Shapers is it's firm on its values and keeping integrity and all those things. Because in as much as you could say that he was not going to be a part of the application processes, but there would be an element of doubt that would be birthed from me becoming a member. So yes, that's why I applied again, because I feel that the organization has values and it keeps to it. So yeah, thank you for leaving, big brother. I wish he was here. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I had a privilege of driving, the reason I was late this morning, with a particular young, highly energetic gentleman. So he happened to mention that he is in media. So my question to you would be, coming on board as a new shaper, what is your contribution as well going to be? And how are you going to use your insights and your skills and your experience to help this hub move forward? So let us know, and also confirm that the reason I was late is because of you.
Trying to redeem yourself.
Hi, my name is Joshua. Okay, let me start with the reason for us being here quite late. I'm not going to confirm that that it was me. I actually said we should leave at 7, and he suggested 7:45. And I might be the reason because I didn't ask him why we making it 7:45 and all that. But yeah, I guess I played a role in that. But he was more direct as a reason for why we were late. I said 7 and he said 7:45. All right. So moving to the fact that I am in media, for me, being in media now is part of the journey that I currently am undertaking, and it started probably 9 years ago. When I first graduated, I graduated in geography and environmental sciences. And then I thought, yeah, that's good. But then when you have that one particular point of view to things and to how we live, sometimes you just you just sound like a populist. Do you understand? Because you have this one view that you're passionate about, but then at the same time, you forget what other things can actually play into the mix. So I joined media this year after many things happened in the middle, many different places, different industries also. But I think my media contribution would be the fact that as an organization and as individuals, it's very important how we get to communicate within ourselves and with the rest of the world. And one of the things I am currently learning is that communicating your image is not just the fact or the matter of appearing to be strong or having your ish together. But then it's also about allowing your vulnerability to like play out so that you don't find yourself under pressure of assuming that you're making mistakes, even when sometimes what you had done is actually a lesson to somebody or a contribution to somebody. So when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and openly communicate that, it actually helps yourself and the people around you. So you won't be the person who covers up, and monitoring and evaluation will always get a clearer picture. They won't now have to investigate obvious things. Do you understand? So I think that's one thing I'm learning in media, that the reason why media looks like it's always fetching scandals and all these things is because people think they cannot be vulnerable before other people. And once somebody looks vulnerable, it's like abnormal, and it sounds like an attention-worthy thing.
They do say that vulnerability is key for leadership, and part of the year that lies ahead, or the journey that lies ahead, is the fact that you're going to have to be vulnerable. But the beautiful thing about the Global Shapers community is the fact that just because we're in Maseru does not mean that's where it all ends. It's a community where we have across 400 hubs across the globe. And the last but not least is wearing a beautiful shirt of my favorite city. So they do happen to have a hub as well in New York. So if you ever find yourself in New York, don't be scared to shout out. But what I want to know as a closing remark is, what gets you out of bed? What gets you inspired? What's your happy place? And how do you think you can generate and bring that on board going into the new Global Shaper year? So shut down this amazing interview and tell us what drives you.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Mama Tlatsu Mohlaude, and I'd actually prepared to answer another question, but now that you asked this one, I have to think as I speak. So for me, what drives me, like what gets me waking up in the morning is serving a purpose. Like I love being in a community that allows me to discover and helps me to discover my potential and also help others discover theirs. So for me, I was really excited and very surprised when I joined Global Shapers and I asked Saskia, like, what is the one thing that Global Shapers Maseru Hub seeks to do? Like, what is its mission or goal, specific goal? And she was like, no, actually, the reason we are recruiting is that we want new people who can plan together with us, who can lead and give direction together. So that was a surprise for me because I'm used to like venturing into environments which has clear set goals that we want to go this way, so you are coming in to join us in this direction. But here I was told, no, you are actually going to plan together with you. So that was quite a thrill for me, and I'm so grateful because this is like one time that I've ever really joined a community that actually said that to me. Thank you.
I know I said that was the last interview, but you know, when opportunity meets luck, this is what happens. So amongst us who just joined us, we have a global shaper that has left to pursue other things. So I'd want to know, how has being a global shaper changed your life, and words of encouragement to the newbies joining the hub? What's your what's your journey like? What has your journey been like, actually? Tell us who you are as well.
Okay. My name is Khalabuhile Moneti. I'm a global shaper, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a mother. Being a global shaper, I think I came in very timid and shy. I wasn't very sure about myself, and I met really incredible people within the hub. And they literally, they put you on the spot, they stretch you, and I'm so grateful. I would not be able to speak right now without my voice trembling or shaking. And I think I gained a lot of confidence. I learned skills I wouldn't have learned if I wasn't a shaper. I think more than anything, I learned to businesswoman, service can be a part of just my identity, even my business identity. So I think I'm going to miss everyone. I learned a lot from every single person. The dynamics of my relationships with everyone are different, but nonetheless, they definitely shaped me into a better me. I think the advice I have for people, I think Tukisa was talking about the why. Don't ever forget why you're here. The problems or the challenges you may face, interpersonal or whatever, don't forget your why. I think that will keep you going. So that's me.
With that said, welcome to the new Shapers, and for the Shapers who have left us, thank you very much for your service and your contribution, and we look forward to shaping, impacting and building a greater Lesotho. With that said, signed, sealed, delivered. Thank you.